I believe that I am getting people ready for anything life throws at them. Mission is help people. The mission is expand people's lives. Wrestling for your life through this, you help change lives. I need, as a person, to give to other people, to make strong connections. Everyone's got a fight. Everyone's got a demon. Everyone's got a fight. Everyone has something they need to achieve. You find some amazing people. From day one, I knew what we were doing in SBG wasn't being done in other places. And in some places, things were being done that were downright wrong. I knew, well, they were just, dead pattern martial arts, traditional martial arts, the really hokey self-defense stuff. I knew that we had the answer to a lot of that stuff. I knew that there was a way to become amazing coaches and therefore create amazing athletes. I knew that. 1 and 2 together are about defending this piece.
Oh, shit.
1 and 2 together are about defending my hip. This is a whizzer. This is heavy on this shoulder. I hit the hip. If I need to create some space, I do. And then I go hard whizzer. They can still drive it. I mean, they can put a shit ton of pressure on you. You're not going to get out of here like this. It's not enough to get out of here, and it's not enough to keep you off the ground. And they'll have to make a decision point here. But because now, come here, please, Zachary. They're perpendicular. You have all of this. It's hard. And he's going to try and lock his hands. And then I have to open his hands, so I just give him a little better whizzer. Here, it's all I'm doing. I just can do this the whole time. I could never have foreseen that we wouldn't still just be whatever we were. And we never had to coalesce back together again. I was gone. Sharp was gone. Connolly was gone. Rory was gone. We had all left. Still pursue the truth, just in our own way. And then we come back and we're all grown up. We have our own students who are really good. We have our own coaches. We have our own black belts. We've checked those boxes. We're all black belts. We're still all badass old men. Check all the boxes. We have families. We have kids. I could never have foreseen that we would direct that energy the way we have to help a lot of really awesome, regular people. There was a phase in our gym I call 20 guys without shirts on. But those guys were already all strong and tough, and they would have been just fine. I wonder how many training partners and amazing people filtered through because we didn't give them a chance to be nurtured. We didn't give them a chance. They would have went into the gym looking for something, and we would not have provided it. Even because we probably didn't even have the mechanism at that point to provide it. We had the mechanism to provide beatings. Right. Instead of just being this workout we get every day for 2 hours, which is awesome. That helped us realize just a lot about ourselves, and now we can bring that to other people. Like, we have members that are so far outside of that original box, but they're core members of the tribe, and now we can connect them to a greater tribe where people care about each other, right? More than just hierarchical this person's good at jiu-jitsu, this person's tough, there's a black belt, there's a brown belt.
I've done one thing every time. I mean, watch fighters in the UFC, that's it. You got to start there to get something to work off of. They have a choice now, Zachary. So you're going to make a choice. One is to step outside that leg anyway and get this single. And he's just going to pick it up off the ground like that. So he makes that choice, or he's like, you know what, I'm coming here, high underhook, and hand in there. Okay? So that's his two choices. I just need you to go make those two choices real smoothly, real quickly. It's all good. You can just start on the hips now. We don't have to shoot on each other. He did anyway, but you don't have to. Turn out, heavy, good. Not doing anything here, not doing anything here, but it's not enough. He goes to the single leg. Okay? Oh, I had to grab the cage. Or he goes up. Yeah. Split, still, good underhook. That's not a good underhook. That's a good underhook. Head, hand, everyone see? And I want you to think, what's the next thing I got to deal with? So do these two transitions.
But then we all came around in a circle to realize that what we really wanted to do was help people. And us and Matt and Travis and Steve, Rory, we all realized that about the same time.
Really?
And we realized we could help each other do that even more than it used to be help each other get good at martial arts.
Right.
We could help each other reach more people.
So all of you guys were obsessed with, I'm going to really learn how to fight.
Yeah, yeah.
So when did that change? So all of a sudden, it's important for me to connect and help people. Why is that?
Well, so first off, I think we've, in this organization especially, really elucidated how to fight and how to train for fighting. Right? I think we know that. So that pursuit now of getting people better becomes the next thing. Like, let's use what we did to get people better. But then you realize further that getting people better doesn't stop when they step off the mat. It doesn't stop when they leave. We realized that we could help people in the rest of their lives. We could be leaders, we could connect with people, we could help people do things more than just get good at the thing on the mat.
Let me give you a good high-level drilling tip. Don't throw out the stuff that I did the last 35 minutes, just out the door, once you understand the very simple idea of hand fight. You hand fight every day, all the time. Right? We all know how to hand fight. We all know how to grab wrists, pummel in for underhooks, we all know that. So once you get a couple reps of that, whatever it is, then put it back in. Shoot, drive, give some pressure. Make them go through all the sequences. Go through the whole sequence. Find your base, find your whizzer, fuck with their head, get their head out of the way. Oh, I need my hands. They are going up and down. If they mess up, lock your hands. Just modulate the drill according to your level. Learn what you can learn from it. But be honest, because if you don't belong up here, it is not bad to just do two things right now.
I believe that I am getting people ready for anything life throws at them. Paul Sharp talked about that. Wrestling for your life is, at that moment, pretty much the same as wrestling a really good wrestler. You're still wrestling for your life, right? And so I like that I'm getting people ready by using sports.
Okay.
I could never be one of those people that is talking about the boogeyman or constantly talking about violence or constantly talking about, the guy in the alley and you're going to get... I couldn't. That relationship with martial arts and violence would not work for me. It's all sport. I think that's what allows me to be in this.
Who clapped? Yes! What's the next thing that's really annoying to me that I have to manipulate? No, not you.
Head pressure. It's driving in your chest.
Head. So I gotta f with his head. Now, this could be a mini course. We could get Jesse out here. He could teach 4 hours on how to f with the head. I just will give you a couple rudimentary ways to f with the head, and then we'll get some reps, yes? If he's got the leg, his head is in my chest, I can get it out of my chest, I can get it over there, I can maybe shove it down. I don't know. I'm not a cross-face guy, but maybe that was good. That's probably not good. Oh, that's awesome. That's not. But that is, right? If I went like this. He wants it here, I don't want it there. Good enough? Or he's up. I certainly don't want to hear. You can be a real dick and be like, bro, get in there. You don't need to do that. Just with his head. With his head. Find some with the head that don't do anything. Find some that are fun. Don't get off the cage. I am really good at teaching people how to fight, right? And so I have certainly gone through a period where I wonder if this path hurt that path. If the path of helping people, the path of tribe, is the reason, that maybe my fight team is not where it used to be. Right? There was a point where my fight team in the Southeast, but in America, that was up there. When you talked about rooms on a normal night and guys who were fighting at the highest level, that was up there. But that is still only helping like 5 or 6 people achieve their goal. But everyone's got a goal. Everyone's got to fight. Everyone's got a demon. Everyone's got to fight. Everyone has something they need to achieve. So I went hips. I went head. If the head's not enough and the hips aren't enough, what's the next thing? Dude, the thing about sports at its heart, which is what we do, whether it's self-defense, MMA, no-gi, they're all sports, is simple is usually the best answer. Zach has the single leg, and if the head is not enough, because remember, we're not just learning how to defend a single leg. I'm learning how to deal with being on the cage. Everything's happening simultaneously. If the head's not enough, maybe I have to fight the hands. If he has 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe I need to at least have this first. Maybe I can, oh shit, that was good. Your head sucked. Get back to the leg. He drops back down for the leg. Oh, he's like, shit, it's going back for the leg. The head's not enough. Where are the hands? Where's the wizard?
When I am introspective, when I think about myself, martial arts and fighting and violence are really things that are foreign to my character. But I saw violence, my father was violent. I watched him abuse the dog. So I'm in martial arts to deal with being bullied, but at the same time, my father was taking out all of his anger and stresses and rage on myself and my brother. You escape the bully who doesn't, who makes outside scary. You come in the house and you have the bully. And I know Bob Singer is 70 years old right now. And I would probably have the same exact, if it was a confrontation with him or he was angry, I would have the same feeling of just dread. Part of me does martial arts for the same reason that I'm a really good father. Because 40-year-old me beat the shit out of him. Now, wreck him. He was a big dude too, bigger than me. Like 6'3", 4, 300. I would wreck him. And I am a very good father because he wasn't. That's why I think over the years I put in those rounds with the UFC guys. I put in the rounds with Forrest and Rory and all those guys in the mat time. It did. It did. It does.
And the drill gets a little more intense, obviously, because we're adding pieces. But keep control. Keep going. Keep going. This is not competitive, but it is not cooperative. Who wrote Flow? It puts you right up. You and your partner can get right up where your skill level matches the challenge, and you hit in that upper right corner of flow state, right? That's a beautiful drill. So that's what I just want you, as we're adding more stuff, we have a tendency to lose more control of our body. So I don't want to see live reps here, okay? Now let me give you another hand fight. I don't know, again, drills and application are different, okay? One thing I want to do just to work this drill, he goes for this. When I get his head out of the way or I get his head down, he starts going for that ankle pick. I have to, I have to stay heavy on the head and just start peeling. It's just another part of the hand fight. Is it a huge piece of anyone's game? No, but the ankle pick, it works. So I can't forget that. I'm just doing all my stuff at the same time now. But that wasn't much lighter than I want to go. 1, 2, 3.
We may let people spar a little too early and a little too freely in stand-up. We have slowed down everything we've done in the organization, understanding that people need some time to acclimatize. People need some time to just, you can't spar and at the same time be not 100% sure you're actually in the right place for you and these are the right people for you. So you build up bad habits there. So I would say that one thing is don't rush that process. If your feet and your defense are good, at least you can relax. You can let a better partner work a little bit. You'll see everything coming. But if you focus on defense and feet, it doesn't become you try and land one and eat two. You try and land one and eat two. But it is letting people spar and stand up that don't need to spar and stand up is a bit of a mistake. Every white belt in our program that does stand up doesn't necessarily do it because they want to spar. I'd much rather them do drills. If I have a beginner or intermediate, let's say, someone that just does the drill classes where it's not sparring, but you've seen, you know what a drill to us is. There's still aliveness, there's still timing. You know a mistake is really made. That's probably enough for most people and lets people do stand-up forever. Yeah. I can have someone throw full power offense at your solid defense where you pick everything up, especially if the person punching knows that their goal is not necessarily to land multiple punches in your face. You get that for real, then I know you're more complete martial artist than if you didn't do any striking. But I don't know if you need to be across from another person with gloves on where it's totally free. Where it's just, I don't know if everyone needs that. Now, don't mistake that for me saying, I know you wouldn't, but I don't want anyone to mistake that for me saying, I think you could learn stand-up by just hitting pads or the bag or standing in line.
All of those things lead to possibly you ending up somewhere like here. If they did a good double leg, like if Bowles gets a good double leg, you end up over there. He picks you up and he puts you away from the cage. But if I'm lucky and I stayed on the cage, I end up here, and now I have to get up. Or I'm defending the upper body stuff. I'm keeping him off my lower body, and I have to turn him, okay? So I'm going to give you a quick, both of these could be their own courses. I'm just going to give you a quick, show you, all right, and then we'll just go. He's up top. He's got the thing. I got back that thing. I got back this thing, and then I pummeled in, and then I just tried to use this. We don't have to make it much more exciting than that right now. Anytime in this drill, I get an underhook. Maybe I can get my hips, and maybe I turn. All right, cool. We've all wrestled. We've all done stand-up. So that's one. Pummel, tournament. That can happen anytime in the hand fight. Two, I'm having a harder time maybe with his head. I'll take my hand on his throat. I won't squeeze it, and I'll use that instead of my underhook. It works really well. And then the third one, which is maybe the more advanced one, is using your neck ties. Right? It's a little bit of hand and a little bit of head, and it's a little bit of creating a little space to turn them off. Make sure you at least doing this drill, okay, you can at least just understand just the mechanics of this. And then if you want to start grabbing each other's throats, I'm not in charge of you. And they try and now keep you on the cage, just the whole time, just try and keep you on the cage with no real energy, just keep you on the cage, and you try and get off. 1, 2, 3, go.
But I don't want anyone to mistake that for me saying, I think you could learn stand-up by just hitting pads or the bag or standing in line. When I say drilling, I mean the people in the class, even if they aren't sparring, are going to be against a wall in a good stance while real punches are thrown at them.
You're developing timing.
All of it. But what doesn't happen is I've taken out, a beginner gets hit usually when their punch is thrown awkwardly or off balance or, with a little too much reach, and the counter strike when you can't even protect yourself, because a beginner throws a hook and their head comes all the way around and then they're turning back and they eat a cross. Developing a flinch, they're going to react to that either by being overly aggressive or under aggressive, but they won't be right. I don't know if it's necessary. If the goal is to do martial arts the rest of your life, if the goal is to protect yourself, then maybe you don't need it. The people that want to do it, that are wired for it, do it.
So he's up here, he's fighting up here. He could always decide to go back there because he sees that opportunity. Right? He can go back, he's pinning me, I get the head off, he can drop down into his double leg sequence here. I'm on the wrong whizzer. This is the inevitable question. Can I cross-face? Yeah, you could do all that shit. I didn't tell you what's right or wrong. I'm going to make a correction. But you see what I'm saying? You can go up and down a little bit, and then when I do turn him, man, there's the drill. There's the drill. Don't push your coach's nut, you son of a bitch. It's the dick.
It can't be
1, 2, 3.
dead or totally alive as your only options in your stand-up program if you'd like to offer that to all people forever. Because in jiu-jitsu, we do have that middle mechanism. We actually have 2 middle mechanisms. We can just do the reps. Then we know how to craft really good drills that bring out the real thing. And then we can roll at a level that's comfortable for anybody. Because you can always tap. And then the people that need to, you wouldn't tell everyone in the gym to go to comp team. So, for most people, there is no flow type level of stand-up until you're really skilled.
Where you can control what you do.
Really skilled.
Right.
A beginner can't do that. So a beginner can't flow spar necessarily.
Yeah. A beginner is reacting, and that's all they're doing.
Right.
To everything.
So since we don't have that mechanism, then I don't encourage people to spar, to kickbox. As part of SBG, if I'm wrong, 8 people are going to tell me how very wrong I am and why.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
It is. There is an honesty mechanism in this organization about everything. As my gym grew and we were helping more people, the striking program didn't keep pace with the BJJ program. And I know why, right? I understand that. But if I could at least bring striking to a few people that are on the fence, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Really is.
If we're talking about fitness, there's an amazing amount of fitness on the ground, but there's an amazing amount of fitness to be found in just moving your body. And then I wonder, and again, experimentally, I wonder if after a longer term period of that, they could jump in at a flow sparring type level. And then I would just not encourage them to do the competition level kickboxing, because who needs that anyway? You know, the fighters do that 1 day a week for 15 to 30 minutes, let's say. Everyone else doesn't need that. I'm not promoting that as a new kickboxing thing. Right. I'm not promoting that. I'm just trying to find a analogous method to jiu-jitsu. But I wonder if that was the path that people took, that they could develop a skill level where they could then flow spar boxing, kickboxing. Yeah, I would like to look at more of that and have more sort of case studies and people that enter it a little later. And because again, it is so easy to build bad habits. If you learn a skill and put it under high pressure immediately, you're definitely gonna bastardize that skill. And then you're going to hardwire it in like that. And then the first time it's under pressure, that's the way you're going to react to it. What we do in SBG, especially for jiu-jitsu, is we lengthen that period of skill acquisition by layering on goals and paths and whatever it is, iteratively. I'm looking at that very strongly in the stand-up game now. Rory and I, and my gym, the original members of my gym, the original fighters who were really good strikers, we did zero pad work. We did pad work on each other, but it was not punitive. We had the night where it was hard. We had the night where someone might get wobbled and feelings got hurt. Once a week, we did that. And it was just rounds. Like, we warmed up and it was rounds. But there was at least one, possibly two other nights where we would get together and you paid for mistakes with a swat to the face, basically, a slap on the hand.
That's cool.
But not with IQ points. It's tough because we can't do it with beginners. They're not even smooth enough to flow. Flow is the furthest word for their vocabulary. So taking beginners and saying you could flow spar seems like a very difficult.
It's not going to happen because it gets real, way too real, way too quickly.
And pad work, although gets people ready for the sport, it doesn't bridge that gap. So I'd like to bridge that gap a little more. I'd like to systematize that a little more. This is SBG. Will be okay.
This is SBG, and you will be